Welcome to Star Wars Spelt Out. This is Josh Chapman speaking, and today we're back in the studio. It's a dream realised. It's finally looking the way it's supposed to, that we've been talking about it. I've got the podcasting couch. I've got the stuff on the wall. Everything's here. And in order to commemorate this wonderful achievement, I brought in some proper podcasters, some guests who've actually been in this studio before when it was an absolute mess with junk on the floor. It's the hosts of That Geek Pod. It's Kneen and Andy Campbell. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hey.
Wow, this is a pretty fabulous studio. I'll have to get you round to set my place up.
Well, I'd like to say that I did it all myself, but I didn't. I had to hire a guy at Airtasker to put all my shelving up because I didn't know how to do it. So I worked through. I went and bought all the shelving. It's just IKEA shelving and stuff, but it required spirit levels and drilling into the walls and you know, I kind of figured that I could probably pull it off with a couple of mates in about 2 days, or I could hire a guy and he did it in about 3 hours. So
wow, well,
yeah,
it's very good.
Yeah, because you guys saw everything that was on the floor before.
That's
basically.
Right. Yeah.
Well, put it this way: I've been in my new place for a year, and all the pictures are still on the floor. Not up on walls yet.
There's a few pictures up on the walls. There's a few I've got. Talking about visual things. So that's a piece of original Batman artwork that's up there, which is done by Walt Flanagan, who
that's cool.
People would know as one of Kevin Smith's mates. So it's from a series that Kevin Smith wrote. So that's a piece that he did. That I bought from a guy in America. And on the other wall is a reasonably well-known Star Wars printer, Mr. Bingo one with the haircuts and stuff. So that's one that I bought when I was in London.
Chewie's one is very funny.
Yeah, so I've seen that one quite a lot on T-shirts and stuff. So that's the original one of, I don't know, it's a really bad, cheap frame. I've got some proper good frames this year that I'm eventually going to put stuff on. But
nice.
They're really heavy. I need somebody professional to come in and attach those as well because I am not handy at all. I cannot do that. So, if you sort of look over, there's a bit of Star Wars stuff on the walls over there now. There's some Black Series that I suppose it's okay to give away what's going on with the Black Series revolution in Melbourne at the moment, Andy.
Not much. The last few months I've had to reduce my spending as I'm heading off to Europe soon, so I need to save that money. But when I was, shopping around, I just saw like Force Awakens, Rogue One, maybe one or two from Solo, but just nothing really decent.
But the big thing is that you can get them cheap if you know where to shop.
That's
which
right.
suits me just fine.
Yeah, as I found out through you.
Yeah, because I just couldn't rationalise dropping $40 on a figure. But when there's a chain in Melbourne called the Reject Shop, or Australia called the Reject Shop, which is basically where sort of overstocked stuff goes to die or just goes to sell, basically. But they actually, I went in a couple of weeks ago, and then there was a director Krennic just sitting on. I'm going, what's this doing in here? And it was $10. And I've gone, I have to have that. And then, of course, you go, gee, I wonder if any other shops and things have them. So has started a little bit of a hunt. So I started going out hunting reject shops and things looking for figures. So I've got there's about 9 or 10 on the wall now. So our sort of little Melbourne Star Wars group, there's been messages to me going, hey, I was in this place and they had some Black Series. Does anybody need a Kanan, or does anybody need a someone else? And there's actually a couple of the Force Awakens figures, the smaller ones as well, that I've got there that were $5 at the reject shop.
Is that Akbar or? That's
good question, actually. Well, that gives me an excuse because I'm going to try and do this and walk over, see if this works, because I've got presents for you guys.
Presents?
Here's an Admiral Akbar. So there's a present.
I was thinking Radis.
No, it's a Force Awakens. So they're all Force Awakens. So there's an Akbar, Kylo, a Phasma, and a Empire Strikes Back Luke for some reason.
Yeah, Okay.
I think that is because originally in The Force, when Rey has the vision, she was going to see Luke and Vader fighting.
Yeah, it doesn't say The Force Awakens, but it does have the graphics of Force Awakens.
So maybe that's how they got around it.
Yeah.
Yeah, as a designer, I can tell you that's always a design. Somebody's just photoshopped that out or just removed off of that. So anyway, I'm going to bring over my presents over here. It's because I've got presents for you guys. Over here, I'm going to do this live.
In July.
Yeah.
Christmas in July. So, over first, Catherine, you've been searching for this for a long time.
I know.
It's a Black Series director, Krennic.
It's a Mendo.
You've got a Mendo now.
Yay.
So we must actually send a shout out to Steve Hodgson. I hope I got his last name correct because he's in our group and he decided to go schlep down to his local reject shop and he sent me a couple of photos and said, hey, they've got like about a dozen figures down here. Does anybody want anything? Oh. And they had a Krennic and I said, grab that Krennic and I'll come and get it. So I actually drove to his work, which is not that far from here in Glen Waverley, which is actually close to where you guys are.
Awesome.
And we spun around and we picked him up.
Thank you very much. Thank you all.
Good.
That's like the best face, I would reckon. Like it does look like Ben Mendelsohn.
Yeah.
I was in Toys R Us the other day because they're doing they're kind of going out of business. So they had a bunch of Black Series stuff, but they're only doing 30% off at the moment. They're like $35. I'm like, if they get the half price, I probably get some for like 15, 16 bucks. But they had a Poe Dameron, and the Poe Dameron looks terrible. I don't. They just cannot get Poe Dameron right
at all.
I don't know what they're doing. So because they had the big speeders and the Rey on the speeder and the Luke speeder and things, and so he's looking pretty good there.
Oh, looking sweet. Joined us on the podcasting lounge. Tell us all about it.
Do you have an idea, Catherine, where you'll put him on your little stack of collectibles?
Yes, I have an idea. Staying in the box for the moment because my cat Jack enjoys climbing those shelves and looking at me, taking his paw and just swiping my itty bitties off the shelf.
Really? He's like, I'm the one you love the most.
Lots of children.
Don't bring competition into my house.
So I'll probably have to get some kind of closed cabinet to stop temptation.
Yep.
But yes, just this week, not that I ever use it, but I did lose my landline because Jack decided to chew through the power cord of the phones.
Was that your internet as well?
No.
Oh, luckily.
Is he okay?
Yes. He's fine.
He's fine. He's having a great old time.
She says yes, but her face is saying a different message.
He's fine.
Okay, so Andy, for you, we have... What have we got here? We have a Farm Boy Luke.
Farm Boy Luke.
Nice.
There you go. And also we have a... That price isn't even correct, but it can stay on there anyway.
Kanan.
Kanan.
Yes. Thank you very much. I've been looking for him.
And I've also got, if you want it, I have a Force... Actually, he's a snow trooper, not a flame trooper. I don't even know if you've got him.
Yeah, I've got.
You got him.
That's all right.
No, that's cool. I'll probably take him out of the box and display him anyway. So I don't know. Do you take yours out? You take yours out?
Yeah, I do. But just at the moment, living with my partner's parents' place, everything's in storage because there's just no room to display them.
Yep. So do you keep the boxes? Or you just once they're out of the box, they're out free?
Once they're out, I throw the boxes away.
I've kept boxes and all the packaging for the things I've unwrapped. That's how I've justified unboxing them.
See, I'm not quite sure because they're looking quite good sort of displayed on the shelf at the moment, but I'm kind of going, I wouldn't mind. Well, this one, I've got a double here. Maybe I'll just...
double... Like if you have two of the same or even just your favourite sleeve in your box or something.
Well, there was, because I was looking on eBay kind of going, I wonder if I can find any, and, they're all kind of eBay prices and stuff, but there's actually like Boba Fett's and like the really expensive ones that they're basically the Chinese knockoffs.
Yeah.
And, so I did a kind of research because I'm going, I wouldn't mind a Boba Fett, and if it was a Chinese knockoff, I'd probably be happy if he was just sitting on a shelf. I probably wouldn't really care. Yeah. If I'm going to pay $20 for him and, he's just going to be ornamental, it doesn't really matter that much as long as he doesn't fall apart. But yeah. I had a bit of a look into the line that Steel always talks about, the figure arts.
Oh, yes,
yeah.
yeah.
And they're amazing, but they're so expensive.
They are, yeah. They announced the Minban trooper from Solo, and I think one I saw was like $89.
Yeah,
90.
But they did because they got the Return of the Jedi Luke, which is fantastic.
That's right, yeah.
But then I just found the Chinese knockoff Return of the Jedi Luke as well, which is only about $25 as well. And I'm going, oh gee, the photos look all right. And then I'm like, I just went to YouTube and had a look at, because there's like guys who do reviews and stuff.
Yeah, that's how.
And the guy's like, this is the worst figure. Its face is all weird and its thing, and the guy like pulls and his arm falls out. And I'm like, all right, there's a reason.
Yeah, I follow a few of those toy review channels, and watch those when I'm looking at a certain fig that I'm going to get. I'm like, all right, let's see what people think of it.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's always save up our shekels. So you guys have been on a few times. You're probably the most I think, Catherine,
early days.
I think you're the most recurring guest now. This is your fourth appearance now.
Yes, fourth. Yes.
You guys
maybe fifth. Because we did one with you, then we did the solo reaction. We did with the solo trailer reaction, then solo reaction.
I think, this is fourth.
This is fourth, sorry. Where did I get five from?
I get mentioned a lot.
Your ears are burning.
Yes.
So, and Andy, you've been on a couple of times as well, obviously. But I think
this is my third.
Before I sort of started doing the sort of my standard leading question, I think you guys have actually done it. So maybe we'll start with you, Catherine. How are you feeling about Star Wars at the moment?
Yeah, the social media had me down for a few weeks there, but I'm still excited for Star Wars Celebration coming up in less than a year, and I am still excited about where we're going. You know, they're starting to film Episode 9 pretty soon.
If they haven't already started.
Yeah. So it's pretty good. Pretty exciting place to be.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Oh, that's good. How about you, Andy? How are you feeling about it all at the moment?
A bit the same with Catherine on social media. It's been very up and down.
It's hard, isn't it? Because we've benefited a lot from Star Wars social media. Like, obviously, our friendships come out of that. I mean, obviously, we've met a lot through the Steel Wars stuff, but it's certainly maintained through the social media. And we've made friends with people across the world now, and we chat. Right. So, in order to engage, you kind of have to be. You can't just. It's not as easy of going, oh, well, if you don't like it, just walk away and step off and don't get involved, because it permeates around your friends and things, and it can be hard to not feel for them if they're having a hard time.
Because like when I see them like going after friends, I do want to get involved, but then I'm just like, no, don't let them handle it. They probably know how, well, not probably know how to handle it, but like they'll just end up blocking them or whatever. Like don't jump in, because like I can't handle reading it, let alone if I got involved and someone's like DMing me about stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
God, I don't want to put a.
You don't want your day ruined.
No.
Yeah.
No.
When there's some idiot sort of going after you.
Yeah, because like reading all the stuff's just, and like seeing all the crazy threads, it's like that's just like a wormhole. Like
certainly has. The waters have calmed. It doesn't seem like there's...
I think maybe now it's calmed. This week it's calmed.
Yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
The latest flare-up on Twitter has been She-Ra, so Star Wars is out.
Yeah, Princess of Power.
Yeah.
So is it... I saw a picture of like the new show, and it just looked like there was a bit more like a animated style.
Yeah, it looks far more anime. The original She-Ra, you could say definitely sort of Barbie inspired, maybe, like that very tall, lean sort of figure, whereas the little bits I've seen of the anime, sort of shorter, more powerfully built.
But she was... she came. I don't know that much, but I certainly she was the spin-off of He-Man.
Yes.
So basically, she was drawn to fit in the He-Man universe, where all the dudes are massive and so they're going, well, if all the dudes are massive, all the girls are tall, and they're all sort of following that similar aesthetic and stuff. So they've obviously just moved away from that to something a little bit reasonable, I suppose.
So they're remaking the show from 35 years ago, something like that, and lots of people on Twitter are unhappy with the new look, and are expressing their dislike.
How different is the look?
Extremely different. Now,
She's still like sword.
Yeah, still
outfit.
sword,
Like
outfit.
you'd still see a photo and go, "Oh, that looks like someone's drawn She-Ra."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why are they upset if it's...
It's not my She-Ra. Hashtag not my She-Ra.
Not my She-Ra. Who was it? Is it dudes again? Like,
Yeah.
Is it girls?
Dudes,
girls
you
going?
guys are the worst.
Oh, we are.
what
but
guys?
I didn't think that many guys really were into She-Ra. I mean,
Yeah.
it's always sort of a thing to get girls in, to get the girls in. Like, I know
Yeah.
Marty, who's been on here before, we've actually spoken about when he was on here. He was a huge Master of the Universe kid,
Yeah.
and he got She-Ra because it was part of the collection.
Yeah.
You know, but I'll have to ask him now.
Could that be it though? Could they be upset because like, well, why is she getting a show? Where's the new He-Man?
They've rebooted He-Man
Yeah.
at least once, if
Yeah.
not twice already.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, because I recently watched that Toys That Made Us
Oh, yes.
Netflix.
I think we talked about
Yes, and then afterwards I went, how did She-Ra start again? And I watched the first few episodes of She-Ra.
How's it hold up?
Yeah, not great.
Like, this needs a reboot.
Well, when I say not doesn't hold up, in that you're watching a show, it's a show that I enjoyed and loved when I was 5 and 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, as a something else, a bit older, it's not. You can see all the corniness.
Yeah.
And, admittedly, I looked at that picture of the new She-Ra and went, oh, okay, that's
But the
all right.
standards for...
But then I wouldn't go out and attack.
No, but I mean the standards, like the basic standard, like if you watch any cartoon now,
It's
the
all
standard
anime.
is but the standard of quality of writing is
Yeah.
so much better.
Yeah.
It is crazy. I watched, my daughter Olive has really gotten into Ewoks.
Excellent.
And that's what she really like. She likes the Star Wars music, but she loves Yub Nub, and she doesn't like. I showed her Forces of Destiny. She's like, I don't like that, but she loves the intros to the Ewok cartoons. So on YouTube, she goes, I want to watch Ewoks. So she just wants to watch the Yub Nub last minute of Return of the Jedi, and she wants to watch There's two intros to the Ewok cartoon, which I've realised. I don't know how many series there were of the Ewok cartoon, but there's like we are the Ewoks, and then there's also we're the Ewoks on an adventure, we're in the Ewoks, we're having fun. So I don't know which one came first. Friends forever, friends. But anyway, so I thought, okay, well, let's put on, because there's like the full episodes are on the thing. We'll put on an episode and we'll just watch it. And I think I made it about 3 minutes in. I'm just going, this is terrible. And it was actually written by this guy called Paul Dini, who is a very famous, he invented Harley Quinn. So he wrote a lot of writing for the Batman animated series.
Wow.
And he was writing cartoons and stuff, the 80s and stuff, but he invented Harley Quinn. It was his creation. And he wrote this Ewoks episode because I saw the name come, I'm like, Paul Dini, bloody hell. Like, okay, it was terrible. I made it about 3 minutes in. Like, you think about, because people complain about like Rebels and stuff, and I'm sure, like Resistance is coming out soon, which has a very similar visual style to what She-Ra is going to be like, that anime kind of thing. And there's going to be people going, oh, it's just for kids. It's like, dude, go back and watch some of that 80s stuff.
The moral at the end was quite painful of the like He-Man and She-Ra type cartoons.
Yeah.
So
Well, they had to do that to, because they were just glorified toy commercials, basically.
Yeah.
Because all those toys,
they were
all that toys that made us were all going, oh, well, they changed the law in the 80s where you could then, sell directly to kids through entertainment and stuff, and you couldn't do that before.
Yeah.
And then that's just like He-Man and Transformers and Care Bears and...
So I highly recommend that Netflix series, The Toys That Made Us. It's great.
So you just touched on it briefly, Catherine, Star Wars Celebration.
Yeah.
So we're all going together.
Yes. Yep, we are.
So that's pretty exciting. We've booked our tickets. we've got our passes.
Yep.
We've booked our accommodation. So
Yep.
we've got that. I haven't booked my flight yet. I don't know if you guys
we're
have.
not looking at flights yet.
My
Maybe when we get back.
James, who's been on here, which is Kat's brother, his wife actually works for, I want to say Flight Centre, one of them. And I asked her about flights and she said, oh, no, wait, September, October, they have like the expos and stuff. She's like, that's the best time to get stuff. So when I know...
the same thing, but then I had another person saying, no, it's the same. Like the prices will be, you're better waiting online or something.
Well, I was looking and it was around about $1,800 to $1,900 to fly there and back, basically. Yeah. Like I know you guys are both doing bigger trips, and Celebration is sort of a stop off into a bigger trip. Yeah. I'm kind of just going for Celebration and coming back again because I'll have another baby by then, so I can't spend too much time. But I'm probably going to go via the West Coast on the way back. So I'll either go to LA or I'll go to San Francisco. Yeah. So I'll either be Disneyland or...
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Star Wars.
No, if Star Wars Land had been open, I would probably edge Disneyland.
Lucasfilm headquarters in San Francisco.
Yeah, there's that. Well, San Francisco, I think, is apparently a much nicer city. Yeah. So I think I would, if I'm just going to go...
very much like Melbourne.
Well, that's okay. I like Melbourne. That's where I live.
Melbourne's good.
So I'll probably lean towards San Fran unless I really want to go LA, but I can't think of any particular reason outside Disneyland I'd like to go. But you never know.
Now that Nerd Melt's like shut down and moved, I can't think of a reason I would.
Well, I've had friends who went and they weren't overly impressed with the city, but I mean, some people love it. So, you know, I think we probably ask someone like Tracy Gardner. You know, she's a native. She'd probably have a few tips of where to go if there was cool stuff to go to. But we'll see. I'll probably be so exhausted after Celebration. I'll probably just want to sleep for 2 days.
Yeah, lots of lines waiting.
Yeah.
So
that worries me.
Yeah, I'm sort of on the fence about all the lines and the.
Well,
I mean, obviously,
episode 9 for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm saying that now and I'm going, oh, yeah, I suppose I will. I don't know. Yeah.
Because all the rest, like...
There's a little posse going, I'm sure.
Yeah, because like, I think it was on The Bad Motivators. Luke was saying that, like, they just hanged around, watched the live stream on some panels that, you know, they didn't really want to go to, but they just all hanged out watching it. Yeah. You're all experiencing the same thing. Yeah. But when it came to, like, the episode 8, they're like, all right, let's all go line up.
So apparently the hall is like the biggest exhibition hall in the country or something. It's like 10,000 or...
It was like, 10 to 15,000 or something?
Yeah.
So it's the size of the tennis centre.
Yeah, it's huge. So I'm not too worried that, I'm not going to get in, because you're going to get in. But it's just, I guess it depends where you're going to sit.
Yeah, I was amazed at how quickly the 5-day passes sold out. In fact, all the passes.
Was it 48 hours?
Like it was pretty close. Yeah, because Charlie Ashby, who was on last week, he was sort of umming and ahhing. I wasn't sure whether he was going or not. And he's like, I'll just, you know, and they're like, oh, dude, they're gone, you know. So I think he said he's still going to try and come. He might just do day ones, and he had to connect for a ticket or something. So hopefully he'll be able to still front up, you know, the more the merrier.
Yeah, but like a dodgy thing I saw on a group chat I'm on is some people who are booked places to stay, like hotels, are now selling them and then just using an excuse like, oh, no, I decided to go to a different hotel with a friend, so I'm selling this room and we can just switch the names. Yeah, which is a bit dodgy.
I wonder if they'll cotton on to that.
Yeah, hopefully, because it was one of the Star Wars ones that they were, you know, in.
Yeah.
Well, we were quite lucky because we did Airbnb, and the Airbnb people weren't quite as clued as to what was going on.
No,
so we got an amazing rate for our. We didn't get the.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what it is
we
now.
booked that pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Like the same day we booked our tickets, me being me, was frantically texting these guys going, what are we going to do? Where are we going to stay? Oh, my God.
I said, let's just come around to my house and we'll sit down, we'll pop some laptops and we'll work it out. And it was actually funny because we were all here and I'm going, we probably should be podcasting or something while we do this. We're all in a room together. And it's like, it was like a waste of an opportunity missed. Yeah. But look, I'm really looking forward to it. I've sort of been telling people, you know, going to do this thing, and I think it'll be a perfect episode 9. It'll be an end of a trilogy. It'll be, you know, they didn't do it last year. It'll be a big event. It'll be there'll be lots of faces to see. It'll be kind of like I don't know, like going on a big internet dating thing where you kind of like meeting people. You're kind of meeting like hi.
I don't feel nervous at all.
No.
I just feel like I've heard their voices. I feel like I know them all. So like,
yeah, they already know I'm a big dag. So you know, I can't make a fool of myself anymore. So
it's funny. I saw a tweet that somebody had put it out just saying, oh, you know, look, you know, when you go to these things and you meet your friends, you have to keep in mind that sometimes people you know, have a less. You can't just run up and hug somebody straight away. You have to sort of, you know, because some people are more apprehensive meeting new people, whether you kind of know them or not, or, you know, you can't just run up and, you know, you just got to feel the waters a little bit, you know, because then you get messages from people like, oh, as soon as I see you, I'm going to give you the biggest bear hug.
Yeah, that's Luke in Dallas.
Yeah. Dallas added me on.
Hug me to death.
Dallas added me on Facebook the other day, actually. So shout out Dallas if you're listening. So, so looking forward to see those boys. I think the Bad Motivated boys have got some sort of man hovel somewhere that they
we'll find somewhere, and like you said, you want to go karaokeing and
I really want to. I mean, I'm not sure what the after, how it works afterwards and stuff, but I want to go karaokeing with Eric and Jason. We've talked about it a little bit, so look, I'm just excited. So. And I was excited to get you guys on this episode because we had the new studio and things, and I wanted to follow up strong after last week's episode with my friend Jen, who was doing the
great episode.
That was good,
which was really good. It was I felt kind of bad afterwards. She was really great going on, and, you know, really did a great job. But, you know, she signed a massive NDA with Lucasfilm. She was really just kind of a little worried about, you know, if things got back to her. And I said, listen back, you haven't said anything. She's like, oh God, but they might just think, you know, because originally I'd written the show notes that we were talking about episode 9, because I literally just say, hey, are you guys involved in episode 9? And she said, yeah, it's out there, you know, I can say it. But then she said, oh my God, like someone will see my name and think that I'm giving out episode 9 spoilers and things. And so I altered the show notes and stuff because, you know, so.
Because it seems like she was just talking about the program.
Oh yeah, she was completely. Yeah. She didn't give anything, but if she knew anything, she certainly didn't tell me. Yeah. No. And, you know, which was good. But I think she is, you know, just a bit like, I don't know. She doesn't know if this goes out to, you know, 1,000 people or 2 people. I said, it's closer to 2. So you don't have to worry about that. But, we got some really good feedback on that too. It was really good. And Jason and from Making Star Wars and Steele both tweeted it out too, which I think gave it a nice little bump, which was good. Yeah. It's always handy to have friends in high places on that, that kind of thing. So this is the longest gap between a new Star Wars movie that we've had since Revenge of the Sith ended.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
Andy's doing math. Andy's here with we haven't got dead air. Andy's.
That was me doing math. So it's like a year and what? 5 months, 6 months.
Yeah, it's 18 months.
Yeah.
Does it feel like a welcome pause? Or do you feel like I want it now?
I think a very welcome pause at the moment. We need it. But even with just the news about that they're going to start filming it, people are already like...
Cast. Felicity's in.
Yeah. Like, oh, is she Rey's mum? It's like, did you not watch the film? Like, and just like, and with Lando coming back... It's like,
Billy D.
I wish, like, for me, like, I wish they were just like, you know what? We filmed this last year, and everyone just loses their mind. Like, oh my God.
We've actually finished, and now we're just going to sit on it.
Just so we don't have that, oh, what leaks this week? Or
people just take one tiny little bit of information or speculation and just run wild with it.
Because it's going to have so much attention now, I think more than ever.
Yeah, and you're right. With Felicity, forgotten her name. Kerry Russell.
Kerry Russell. Yeah.
You know, or see, this is the thing. I never actually watched Felicity.
Neither did I.
I watched a little bit. I didn't see heaps.
But I got to know her better through The Americans, which is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Watch it.
So you reckon she'll be whatever role she picks?
She's fantastic.
She's got the chops.
In The Americans.
Okay.
She wears a lot of wigs in The Americans, but she's still got her beautiful, beautiful hair, which is never, ever allowed to be cut again.
Yeah, so that was always the thing about Felicity, is that she had this very nice sort of long curly hair, and then inexplicably in the second season she cut it off, and it was a bit sort of Samson-esque, you know.
Oh, I lost the power of the show.
Lost the power of the show. I definitely saw some of it. I don't remember much about it.
But that was like JJ's first...
early days.
First show.
First proper show that he had to himself, I think. So she's obviously a favourite of his, so he likes to bring in his crew, his dependent, his Lucky Charms and all that kind of thing.
Is it Zach Wesley, the pilot from Force Awakens that we never saw?
Oh, Greg Grunberg.
Yeah,
he's been in. I think it's like his old mate from Zap. Zap.
Yeah, they like grew up together. So he was like a supporting actor in Felicity. He was in Alias. He was in the pilot of Lost. He was in Heroes. So he pops up in all of JJ's.
He's got to come back and save the day.
Yeah, because none of the X-Wing pilots were there, or very few of them.
The girl from the Marvel shows, like even her character wasn't there.
I think they're in the Poe Dameron comic. They're hinting at that at the moment, because they've kind of been. It's actually been quite interesting, because they're actually. The Poe Dameron comic is currently the furthest along in the Star Wars timeline, because it literally takes place after Last Jedi ends.
I've seen panels. I need
so they're actually sitting in the Falcon, and it's sort of Poe and Finn and Rey, and he's sort of telling stories about what he was up to and what he was doing and things like that. And there's actually there's the saddest shot of Leia, and she's walking through the Falcon, and she sits into the cockpit, and there's like a young Han Solo turns, he's like, "Where to, princess?" And she kind of just stops on the thing. It's just like, goodness. It's really, really good. And so he's sort of telling stories about because I think they were just doing the attack on Starkiller Base, so he's sort of talking about that. So he's kind of working his way back. But then I think he goes, the next bit is basically saying, were you guys when Starkiller Base got attacked and things like that, when they were evacuating. So I think he's sort of leading into that story of where, is it Black Squadron? I can't remember what it is.
I think it is,
so I think it kind of, so they're currently the latest, the most, so they've actually gone beyond the movie, which is pretty rare. So they're kind of rolling along with that. So, do you reckon? I think the last time we all spoke together was obviously Solo. Does it resonate? Does it feel like it kind of came and went, and you haven't really been thinking about it much? And
it was a really busy time of year for me
and me.
And I only saw it twice. The once with you guys, and then that Saturday, Sunday, that weekend. And then it was just life. Was just way too busy to get to it
every
again.
Every time I tried to look at a time for to get everyone involved to go see it, especially when Tracy and Adam came back, the times were just really inconvenient, or on a Sunday and I'm working, or they're working, like the timing just wasn't good. So many people I've spoken to have either didn't get to it, or were like, did that happen? Is it out? Has it been or went? Or it just fell into that sort of treadmill of summer movies, it just sort of came and went, and then it was, now this is out now, and then Jurassic Park's out now, and it really, kind of passed people by, I think. And like everyone I spoke to was just going, I'll definitely watch it when I get the chance. So, if it's on DVD or on Netflix or whatever, I'd like to see it and things. I just sort of didn't jump to. You kind of wonder what another 6 months lead in. Hitting that December release again, and the hype train. And
well, this is the thing. 3 years in a row, we got trained for a Christmas release of Star Wars, and then there was a release in May, and people weren't expecting it. And most people I've spoken to, they've sort of found their end of May and June period is actually one of the busier times of the year.
Especially financially.
Especially in Australia too, because it's American summer, they're on holidays. So we're not, we're just in the middle of winter, sort of plugging along as we normally do, working and
saving money for holidays in December.
Because, December it's holidays everywhere, so it doesn't really matter. Like, we have our big holiday in December because it's our summer, but Americans are still on holiday for Christmas and stuff. So, it really did seem like a lot of people I spoke to were just sort of, I'll see it. I just kind of haven't quite gotten around to it. And now we've kind of got this weird anomaly of a 18-month gap that we kind of have to sit around and wait it out. And
Though we do have our live Empire Strikes Back in December, so we're still...
Now, what date is that? Do you remember what day it is?
I think
Tickets are on my fridge.
It's the week of a Star Wars movie would have come out. So like the 16th, 17th, I think.
My new baby is due on the 10th of December. So...
well, you have a fantastic week.
15th of December.
Right, we're due on the 10th. So, and we went a week late last time.
Okay.
So there's a very good chance I will have to sadly offload my ticket, which I'm not too happy about, but can't argue with
that's all right.
nature or my partner.
Yeah, I'm sure we can find someone.
As we get closer, we'll work it out. We might, because if we end up going early or something like that, which can happen, it might be a completely different kettle of fish, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So it'll be nice to have that, but it was always good to have. That was always good to go to because it was like, now we're going to roll into the next film and we're going to have that.
Yeah.
Now we're just sort of...
It's just another, reason we all get together with everyone and watch a movie.
When is Star Wars Resistance, that new animated series, going to be released?
Fall, isn't it?
So is it their fall, which is our spring?
Our spring.
Yeah.
That's pretty soon, isn't it?
Yeah, because that's what they're predicting at the Clone Wars 10 years panel at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
They're going to do a little, here's a sneak peek of what we have next.
They don't miss a beat, do they? Because Rebels just ended.
Yeah.
And then they
did a while ago.
But it ended at the end of that sort of TV season, and then they just roll into the. They don't sort of go, we're going to take a year or two off.
Well, they would have been working on this probably when season 3 ended because it takes so long to animate. I would say.
Yeah, it would have to
from
be.
What I've read.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, there's all the other speculated movies and.
Which seem like are still rolling along.
We just don't know
Hopefully, everyone
what they
seems
are.
to hope they don't happen.
Do they?
Yeah.
I hope they do.
Ryan's trilogy.
That's not everyone.
That's not everyone.
That's a
We don't have to worry
bad
about
corner of the internet. We ignore them. So there's, these movies that we know who's making them. We have no idea what they're going to be about. And there's still speculation of standalone movies and a live-action TV show.
Yeah, live-action show interests me.
2 movies a year done?
Yep.
Yeah.
I reckon that is off the table now?
Yeah, I think because Solo, while a really fun movie, they absolutely failed in terms of marketing. I think they didn't market.
Knew about it.
Yeah, I think they didn't market it.
But could you learn lessons from that and have another crack, or is it just sort of like, it's not even worth trying?
I think for them, really, one a year, especially knowing that they're coming to the end of the episode trilogy, why push it?
Yeah.
Do one a year and make all your money.
Yeah, concentrate on that.
And just own December each year.
So do you reckon that's going to be a decade until we get episode films again? If they go one a year and they've got 3 Lauren Johnsons and they've got some Game of Thrones dudes and then they've got an Obi-Wan apparently and a Boba Fett, that's 7 or 8 movies. If you go, all right, we're going to do one a year for 8 years, we don't touch episode films for another decade.
I think that's a good gapping away to get enough away in time, in universe time, to get the characters to someplace different. A decade is a big deal in a person's life. Like that 10 to 15 years, you think even back to original trilogy, sort of 10 years after Return of the Jedi, we would have really loved a movie then. 10, 15 years after Return of the Jedi, that would have been a great time to see. And I think that's really a great time then to hit.
Yeah, I guess it depends
more
on where the
episode.
characters end up and if it's the same characters or is it, is Rey's story done? Does she survive? Is it other people? Is it a similar thing where you it's someone else's story and other characters pop in? If it's close, I mean, the advantage Force Awakens had, obviously, it was such a, we got another trilogy in between, but because they went back to one, it meant that by the time we got around to 7, there was actually 30 years. So it was sort of always going to be new characters with the older ones kind of coming in just because they're older. They're not going to be around forever. And obviously Carrie's passed away and that was sort of your one shot to do it. If you're going to go 10 years, you go, well, Daisy Ridley's only going to be 30 in 10 years. She's only 20, 21 years old. So
I wouldn't mind, at least one more crack at whichever characters
so another
still
character
around.
movie.
Yeah, with the same characters.
Obi-Wan?
Oh, no, you mean like Rey and Finn?
No, Rey and Finn, like the
so-
episodes. The episode movies. So 10 years, in our
Would
time
you
afterwards.
consider, I suppose you can't really do that though, can you? I was going to say, would you consider a Star Wars story with those characters? But I guess because you're always going forward, it doesn't really work, does it? Because
I don't want to be going back all the time.
But I mean, even going, I don't know.
Like sideways.
Well, I don't know. Like if you go, all right, we're going to go, episode 10 is actually going to be 100 years in the future. So everyone's, we finished episode 9, then we pick up 100 years in the future, but we, in 2025, we do Rey a Star Wars story and we pick up on a 40-year-old Rey, what she had done in that period of time as her own story.
Yeah. I think in a way you want to use the characters while you have them.
Yep.
Or the actors while you have them, I should say. So
Do you think they'll all come back? Do you feel like
John Boyega would come back.
Do you feel like
I think
he handles
Daisy
the,
would.
I think he's handled the scrutiny better than Daisy has.
Yeah, I
Well-
think Daisy wants to move on.
Well, I think
It's hard to speak for them, but
I think some of the female actors have gotten some harder scrutiny
Yeah,
than
without doubt.
some of the male characters.
And John Boyega certainly had his fair amount of unfair scrutiny as well.
Yeah.
But I think he's probably been a little bit more combative if he felt like he could do that. But also that being a man, he probably feels like he can a bit more. I think if Daisy felt like that she had to come out like John, she couldn't come out like John can.
Yeah.
But again, we're just sort of speculating on them and things. But it would be sad if, like, I would rather have Daisy do 3 and go like, I had a great time and I'm done. I'm walking away. It was great. Thanks a lot. Then come back and kind of go, I don't really want to do it, but I feel like I should, or I feel obliged, or, you wanted to love it.
That sort of 10, 12 years, I think, is time enough for the bad taste almost, if there is a bad taste, to leave your mouth and to be a bit more nostalgic in a way for those actors. It's enough of a gap between, making episode 9, having the period in between and then building up again. It's a nice gap. Whereas if you said, come back 3 years later, no, that's too...
there's just no way.
No, that's too short. Sort of that 10, 12 years, I think, is probably
I think it serves the story better to move it along a bit more as well too. Like obviously 8 happened right after 7, so you've essentially got like a week of Star Wars at the moment. We don't know where they're going to go with 9 yet, whether they're going to...
I think the rumour is 3 years or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all sort of rumour, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who knows? But, so that's still quite a small chunk of time, so a lot can sort of happen after that. But, I guess we'll see. It'll be interesting to see what happens. It's sort of all on the table it's all on the table to happen, really. But, I don't know. You kind of go, well, I want more, but you do have to think about the actors. Like Harrison Ford came back, so if anybody can come back.
But he knew that what they were going to do with his character, so he was like,
and he's going, then no one will ever ask me to do another one again.
No.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he likes Alden Ehrenreich so much. He's just like, you could be Han Solo from now on.
Yeah.
I don't have to be. If everyone was going, hey, what about Han Solo? It's like, we got another Han Solo over there. It's this guy over there. You got to please direct all your Han Solo questions to the young man in the corner.
Oh, here's an idea. Bring Mendo back.
Yeah, I'm always up for Mendo.
And have like a... I don't know if you could do a Star Wars story on him, even though we'll be like, well, we all know where he ends up.
In a way, the book Catalyst, the prelude to Rogue One is still one of my favourite Star Wars novels. It's my favourite
as well.
Did they miss a trick not putting Mendo in Rebels, you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon.
Did they underestimate how popular he probably would have been?
Yeah.
They go, plans.
Did they mention him by name at one point?
Sure, in the last series he gets mentioned by name.
Tarkin goes, oh, well, Krennic is working on Project Stardust.
Yeah.
What do you think your plan will,
Yeah, he was up against Thrawn's plans.
Because Thrawn's plan was like the
TIE advanced and thing.
Cloaking TIE fighter. That was his plan.
Yeah.
Competing against Krennic.
Death Star.
Yeah.
Because you kind of go, that's that period of time, that's kind of Mendo time. I feel like they've kind of squeezed every bit of juice out of that. Is it the episode title, Mendo Time? That's your little perfect window of Mendo Time right there.
Yeah.
But it's kind of going, well, he only goes at this point. They've kind of, they have a little backstory on him, and you kind of go, oh, he could have been involved in that somehow. But, sometimes things are just best left the way that they are.
Yeah, and I don't see him coming back to.
But I just mean the character.
See, Krennic is one of the more intriguing villains in a way.
Definitely.
He's definitely not just a two-dimensional bad guy. He has motivation. He's this middle management guy who's doing a very evil thing, but he's fighting to get his promotion
and respect.
He's sort of a working class boy, isn't he? He's sort of dragged himself up and
from I think it was in Catalyst.
Yeah.
That he wasn't privileged, so he basically worked his way to the top, and even though he was achieving so much,
he wasn't getting the props.
Students would be like, how's he still around? He's
from the poor part of the galaxy.
From the rough, the bad side of the tracks. That's Mendo all over.
So is the Emperor gonna be there? Because he's a fanboy of the Emperor. He wants to make the Emperor
proud,
and he wants to be noticed.
Yeah,
and so that's explains when Vader chokes him, he does that smile because it's like, I'm getting to you.
I got you.
That's right. He mentioned that on Steele's podcast.
Yeah. And that's why I think it was great that Mendo wasn't full Australian in Rogue One, but there was definitely
there's some parts.
Earlier in too. It's sort of like he hasn't quite shaped the accent. You know what I mean? He's sort of portraying his roots, his accent.
The early conversation with Galen. And when he goes, Lara passed away now that she's gone, and I think it was Steele's favourite that. That's rough.
Jeez, that's rough, mate.
That's rough.
That's bloody rough, mate.
Yeah.
Lara.
Back from the dead.
What a bloody bummer, eh?
Yeah, but that's just
But for me, I got those parallels of, especially 50s and 60s as an Australian entertainer or newsreader, you couldn't get anywhere if you had an Australian accent. You had to sound British and English. You had to speak with a BBC accent. And you can sort of see Krennic, he's Australian coming out every now and again, but definitely trying to make it more British, more BBC.
I've definitely got an ear for... I don't know whether it's from living in the UK or I can spot an Australian afflection on an Australian actor from a mile away. No matter how good they're doing it, whether it's your Blanchetts or your Kidmans or your Wolverines, your Jackmans, or Russell Crowes, or there's always just one or two inflections, and you kind of go, it didn't quite, you just let that little bit in there. It always sort of creeps through, but you staying on brand. You wouldn't want him to be anything that's off brand. No. So we had a pretty good run here, you guys. Before we sort of wrap up here, Resistance, is that the next big, that's how you're going to get your fill for a while, you think?
Yeah. I'm not expecting anything else coming out of this weekend except for Resistance.
And we haven't got the date yet for when Disney is releasing their streaming service. And that would be, I think, the next time that we hear a big something.
Do they have a D23 this year? Or is that next year?
I don't know.
Do you think we'll get a movie straight after episode 9? As in 2020? Will there be one lined up ready to roll?
I think 2020 is when Ryan starts shooting the first of his trilogy.
So you think there'll be a no Star Wars year 2020? So you think that might be the live action year?
Yeah, it could be the live action year. We still don't know for sure whether we get an Obi-Wan or a Boba Fett film.
I reckon we'll get Obi-Wan before.
Yeah, please. Ewan.
Ewan, he hasn't shaved for 3 days. It must be happening. He's keen as, I reckon. I think he can't wait. I reckon he's chomping at the bit to get back into it, I think. And I think he's like, how can I speak for, Ewan McGregor? But I think
he'll do it.
Yeah, I think he loved being in the Star Wars movies. I think that he probably realises that the film wasn't loved by everybody and weren't as...
But everyone loved his performance.
But everyone loved him. So I feel like he wants to have another crack at it. And, so I don't think there'll be any issues there.
I think it's, again, the actor is available and ready to go. People want it, or people are at least interested in it.
Yeah.
Come on, Disney.
Slam dunk.
Let us give you all our money again. Just let us give you money.
9.
Do you think, had it been an Obi-Wan movie that came out instead of a solo movie, same release date, same everything, it would have done better? Or do you feel like...
still have the director drama?
Not necessarily. I don't think the director drama affected the box office one way or another. But I'm talking about like if we'd had episode 8 and then 5 months later we had Obi-Wan Kenobi, do you think it would have done better? Or do you think it would have been the same? You think you want star power?
Jedi powers.
Yeah.
McGregor.
It could have potentially done better because people got confused with Solo not being Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
Even though all you have to say to people is it's a young Han Solo.
Yep.
They still don't get it.
Because I think now you kind of say Obi-Wan Kenobi and most people say Ewan McGregor over Alec Guinness really now.
And with Solo, like the title, they got the title wrong. It should have been like Young Solo, a Star Wars story.
Or
Young Han Solo, not Harrison Ford, but hey, come and see it anyway. You'll have a good time. A Star Wars story.
Just calling it Solo, just...
Solo and the Kessel Run type of thing.
Yeah, like Indiana Jones.
I'm thinking of the lemon drink, like
a Han Solo and the Kessel Run instead of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming, guys. It's always a pleasure when you come in. I'm so chuffed that the little studio's up now. You guys are reclining on the couch, having a good old time, being nice and comfy.
Fantastic.
You obviously have your own podcast as well, so you want to plug away?
Yeah, Catherine?
We've got a podcast called That Geek Pod where we talk about all sorts of geeky things. So we've done Westworld episode, a reality TV episode. We've just released a Marvel Cinematic Universe episode. That'll be
that's
3-parter.
Phase 1.
Phase 1, yes. Yep. All films. We slowly lost our minds talking about them, but...
I've listened to that one. I haven't listened to Westworld because I haven't seen season 2, so I haven't watched it.
It's full of spoilers.
Yep, got to wait.
But, yeah.
And, you can get us on social media at That Geek Pod on Twitter and Instagram. Yep. And you can find me at That Geek Andy on Twitter.
I'm at Catherine_Kneen. Couldn't get the one word.
Who's the other one that's out there? Have you seen who the other one is?
Yeah, look, Kneen is a very popular last name on the Isle of Man, I'll have you know. Oh. And Catherine is, of course, an incredibly common first name, so there you go.
Damn it.
Do you want us to harass them?
No.
You ruined The Last Jedi, Catherine Kneen, with no underscore. She's like, what? What are you talking about?
I've branded the underscore now. That's all
yours.
mine.
Oh, it's all yours. Oh, excellent. Well, you can find us at StarWarsSpellsOut.com. Everything is on there. Star Wars Spells at Twitter. And thanks for coming, guys. I'll see you soon.
Nice.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.